It's 133rd day of Ukrainian resistance, Media Center, Ukraine. I'm Vasily Mykolaiv, and here is our next briefing with Oleksandr Sienkevych, Mayor of Mykolaiv. Uh, Good afternoon, Alexander. Alexander, here is the first question concerning the events. Please, could you tell about the consequences of the missile strike in the city that happened the day before yesterday? Well, normally, we report about all the issues that are related to our civil infrastructure, and let me tell you that about 10 buildings were partially damaged. They hit one military facility, and I may tell this, I'm allowed to tell this, because in fact, after our 79th Brigade got the destructions of one of the buildings, they just left their military town and they are working now in the east. That's why I'm allowed to provide this information. But over this period of time, Russians keep attacking their town, their military facilities, and last week they destroyed one of the buildings, one of the barracks. One of them was also partially damaged, and the same barrack was, which had already been partially destroyed, partially damaged, just was hit once again. So it seems that just our soldiers have been so much pressing them that they are just trying to take revenge. And a lot of residential buildings have windows shattered, and the shelling that happened the day before yesterday was characterized by the fact that some civilians couldn't leave the building because the door couldn't be opened. The other building is our Palace of Culture of Korabelny district. We used to have two palaces of culture which were built following the traditional conventional Soviet design, so it has been fully destroyed. You can see children's suits, their music instruments, the audience room, the hall, and for some reason no military ammunition can be seen there. Of course, right after the explosion, a lot of civilians shot different videos and placed those videos in social media. But in all those videos, you can see that there is not a single military unit, there is not a single soldier or anything that would ever be related to the military field. Three people, like the guard and some other administrators, have been affected. So this is the situation with the shelling. Alexandra, could you please tell us about the city? We're interested not just in the current situation, but in the main trends as to what is now happening with the city. Are people leaving or are they coming back? What about business? Is it frozen or does it start recovering? So what are the main trends in Mykolaiv? Well, I would tell that right from the first days of the war, we started arranging fortifications and trenches, and the municipal uh, companies started digging trenches, making fortifications, and they are doing actually what our one of the units of our army would be supposed to do. And we have already built a certain line of fortification. We have also used a lot of our billboards because we use them in fortification construction, and we have prepared a lot of surprises for our possible invaders. So the city is protected. As far as military presence here, it's fine. People are motivated to gain victory. A lot of people claim that in Mykolaiv there used to be a lot of residents who lived Pax Rusika. That's not true. People just left the Soviet Union, like the Soviet Union, because 100,000 residents back in the Soviet time in Mykolaiv were dealing with shipbuilding. And after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russian oligarchs built out those companies and destroyed them. And people did not understand that the problem was not the collapse of the Soviet Union, but what happened after this collapse and what was done by Russian oligarchs. So now everybody is absolutely motivated to protect and defend the city. Shelling has been going on for many days, but over the whole period, about 20 days were days without strikes. And the impression is that the city is divided into cells, and Russians are hitting at every possible cell. There is not a single micro district in Mykolaiv which could be called safe and which has had no missile strikes. 80% of the missiles coming are the ones launched by missile MLRS systems. The missiles reach our communities within 2 minutes. And also they have some X missiles, Onyx, and they're just firing at the city. And last week they hit a 5-story building, destroyed one of the buildings, and 8 people died, 8 people were wounded. Just an ordinary residential building. So they are hitting every single district, even those districts where there are no military units at all. And recommend the people to leave the city, and I did this from the first days because I consider that it is not safe to be staying in the city. And here comes the answer to your questions concerning the work of our companies. Companies are not functioning. Large companies were bombed in the first days of the war. SMEs are trying to evacuate and relocate their people and the equipment, and only micro business keeps operating, but it's on the edge of survival. So we have about 230,000 people left in the city out of about 500,000. We just make this statistics, get the statistics from municipal companies. So if we speak about recovery, you know that there has been Luhana conference, and some of your colleagues have gone there and have heard about the plans of Ukraine recovery. And we have heard about the willingness of some cities of Europe to be kind of twin cities, or to be the patrons of some cities. So has any country or any city decided to be a patron of Mykolaiv and its recovery? And what could be the further recovery plan? Well, first of all, let me tell you that now we are recording the losses following our municipal facilities, and this is about 620 million hryvnias. There are destructions of 48 educational institutions, 42 municipal institutions, 15 cultural institutions, and 12 healthcare institutions that were partly destroyed because of bombardments. Also, 121 persons have died, and one of them was a child, and 534 people have been wounded, and 6 of them are children. In general, we do have a lot of destructions of multi-storied buildings, 409. To be more specific, and 5 of them have been fully destroyed. They cannot be restored. 5 more, the examination is going on to see whether any capital repairs can be done there. And 536 private buildings have been damaged, while 36 of them have been destroyed to the full. For about a month, we have been working together with the Embassy of Denmark. And I don't know, maybe it was about 2 months ago that the president at the meeting with Denmark online informed that he would like Denmark to become the patron of Mykolaiv, and the Danish reaction was fine in that respect. So we are already working at the development of the plan of our cooperation. And we are discussing some issues related to urgent things which need to be done, like water supply and preparation for the heating season. In fact, I was also supposed to be in Luhano, and there I was supposed to sign the agreement of cooperation, the memorandum of cooperation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But I found out that I can go there on the border. So unlike other mayors, I didn't make a round. I just got back to Mykolaiv, had my online meetings, and had an online meeting with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark and shook hands with him. We will continue working with this, and today we realize that nothing can be recovered before the war ends because it can be destroyed once again. So we will be working at the estimates of expenditure, at the global strategic process like changes in the master plan, reconsideration, data collection of recommendations from the government and also from uh, Danish companies. I've had a meeting with Danish companies where I informed what our needs are, and we would be willing to also somehow adjust that education for Ukraine and for Mykolaiv, not just to have a lot of lawyers, economists, and managers of international tourism, but for us to have more people with the uh, professions and occupations that we will need to restore and recover the state, and they need to undergo training following upgraded programs for foreign business to be able to implement the recovery plan. So with this optimistic note, believing in the capacity of Mykolaiv, I will say goodbye to you. This has been Oleksandr Sienkevych, the mayor of Mykolaiv, and we have been discussing the situation in the city. We will continue our work tomorrow. See you.